Back in college, I worked for DoorDash to make some extra cash between classes. It was easy money, and I liked the flexibility, picking up orders between lectures, doing late-night runs after studying, and cashing in on weekend rushes when students were too lazy to leave their dorms. The job was predictable, simple. Nothing ever really caught me off guard. But that changed during finals week when I received an order that still unsettles me to this day. It was a little past 2 a.m. when I got the request. The delivery address was the university library. Not unusual since students basically lived there during exams. But the instructions were weird. Enter through the side door. Take the stairs to the basement. Leave the food on the last table. Do not call or knock. I had been to the library dozens of times, but I never knew it had a basement. That should have been my first red flag, but I shrugged it off. Maybe it was a student who didn't want to lose their study spot. When I arrived, the campus was completely deserted. The main entrance was locked, but the side door, normally secured after midnight, swung open with a light push. That sent a chill through me, but I convinced myself someone had just forgotten to lock it. Inside, the library was unsettlingly quiet. No rustling pages, no typing, no whispered conversations, just the low hum of the fluorescent lights. I followed the instructions, weaving through empty aisles until I found a narrow stairwell, tucked behind a staff-only door. It had been left slightly open, like someone had been expecting me. As I descended, the air grew noticeably colder. The dim lighting flickered, casting long, distorted shadows along the walls. The basement was nothing like the upper floors. No desks, no bookshelves, just rows of empty metal racks like an abandoned storage area. At the very end of the room sat a single table and a chair. I hesitated, scanning the basement for any sign of the customer. Nothing, just silence. I set the bag down on the table, quickly snapped a photo for proof, and turned back toward the stairs. That's when I heard it, the soft scrape of a chair moving against the floor. I froze, my stomach twisted. Slowly, I turned back. The chair was no longer tucked under the table. It had been pulled out. I hadn't heard footsteps, I hadn't heard breathing, but someone had moved that chair. My pulse pounded in my ears as I took a slow, cautious step backward. The basement remained eerily still, but the air felt heavier, suffocating. Every instinct screamed at me to leave. Just as I reached the first step, I heard another sound, a slow, deliberate exhale. It came from the far end of the room. I didn't look back. I bolted up the stairs, taking them two at a time, and shoved through the door with so much force it nearly swung off its hinges. I sprinted through the library, my heart slamming against my ribs, and didn't stop until I was locked inside my car with the engine running. I didn't take another order that night. The next day, my curiosity got the best of me. While picking up coffee, I casually asked the librarian if students were allowed in the basement. She gave me a confused look. "We don't have a basement." Since that, I never delivered to the library, ever again.